Next thing, we're talking about policy issues. I know, I took that off the agenda. I explained that to each one of you. There seemed to be some questions about that. One policy in particular, a lot of these things are, these updates are just a tweak here or there. In fact, for this, the policy with school ceremonies and observances, patriotic exercises, there really wasn't, other than a labeling change to the coding, there was no change. It was exactly the same as what we've had since 2012. And I don't know, I think it would warrant a little bit of a discussion. I know that's it's a hot topic out there, and I can give my feelings on that, but ultimately, I'll go along with what we as a group feel should be the right direction. The policy in question, that part of the policy I think is in question, is the part on the pledge. What we have right now, if I'm not mistaken, principals, you guys are here, you tell me if I'm wrong now, but we have, every day we do it at the primary and Stinson, right? And then at the middle school and high school, we're doing it on Mondays, okay? So what the policy states is this, that the school board does not, I'll just read the part that has to do with the pledge. The school board does not require the daily recitation of the Pledge of Allegiance. However, the board encourages reciting of the pledge on a regular basis as determined by a classroom teacher or building principal. The district is prohibited from preventing a teacher from having students recite the Pledge of Allegiance in a teacher's classroom. So what I'm suggesting is this, that we keep the policy the same, okay? We are working and discussing on how often we want to say the Pledge of Allegiance to the high school, middle school. I know that it's hot out there to have that happen, and it's not a question of patriotism for any of us. That's not it at all. What it comes down to is just with this policy is a question of flexibility. High school and middle school, they do have different schedules, do have things going on. If we make this a policy like, hey, we have to say this every day, then we're breaking policy. And I mentioned that to several of you, that I'm a big fan of. If that's our policy, then we follow it to the T without question. So I guess my recommendation would be, again, I'll go along with whatever. I think it's more conversation over the next month, and then when we meet again, we can vote to approve that, or we can just keep it with this. I do think the policy ought to remain the same. It gives us flexibility within the district for the principals to determine how often the pledge should be. And I'm not saying we can't do it every day. I'm not saying, I do think it has to be done. I like doing it every day, but I was a high school principal. We did it on Monday, so it doesn't mean it's the best way or the only way. We know that. But it's my suggestion that we keep it, the policy as stated, and give us the flexibility so we can work through any other issues we have. Okay?
Can I add something?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I went on Facebook and just posted an informal survey about how often do people on Facebook believe we should say the Pledge of Allegiance. It said once a week, twice a week, etc., or not at all. I had 58 Facebook replies, and everyone stated they thought it should be every day. I had 19 text messages. Everybody but one said they thought it should be every day. I think it's a very important issue. We say the Pledge of Allegiance before every board meeting. Why? To show our loyalty, love, and respect to our flag and the Republic of the United States of America. Should we only say it once a year in front of the board meetings? If it's important enough to say at every board meeting, is it important enough to say daily at school? And it's important to note that no one is compelled to recite it, but it's said. But if it's not said on a daily basis, are there students who are being denied the opportunity to recite it? Probably. What is our message when we say it only once a week or not at all? We're saying that the pledge is important, but not important enough to recite daily. I don't usually like to bring this up too much, but my son Mike died defending our freedoms, and I don't think it's imposing excessive burden on our staff, administration, or students to recite it daily. Been told other schools only do it once a week. I don't care what other schools do. I care what Northwest does. And I think we're a great district, and I think, and this is just my opinion, that saying the Pledge of Allegiance daily is important. We're told if we mandate it and then when we don't follow the policy, what happens if we miss a day? If something like you had your emergency, you know, and it didn't get set, what happens? I mean, what is the punishment for not following the policy exactly? I mean, I know you want to stay with doing the policy as it is, and it should be, but I mean, I think people wouldn't understand. I think you really have complaints that people, if you have a fire and people are evacuated and you don't get to say the pledge, I don't know, is there a penalty?
I mean, it's just, there's no financial, there's no slap on the wrist, it's just the fact that if that's our policy. I mean, you know, you guys, pass policy, I enforce that policy for you, so if that's a policy, then that's where I go.
Well, and also it was said that we would have, you know, this policy gives us flexibility, but we're saying it once a week in the, middle school and the high school. I mean, to me, that's, I don't know, I think it says something to the students. And like I said, I have, you know, the survey included parents, grandparents, former parents, people who lived in the district, some people outside the district. I just wanted to see what they felt. And it was only, you know, one person out of, well, 77 people, only one felt it just said daily. I'm sorry, it's very important to me, and I think,
No apologies
I think we
needed,
should-
we respect, everyone respects your word on this.
and I don't understand why it's a problem to say it daily. What's the problem saying it daily, aside from that they might miss it sometime?
I want to make sure you understand, all you guys understand, that I don't think, it's not a problem. You know, I mean, the policy is what it is, and whether we do it once a week, twice a week, once a month, every day, that doesn't impact our policy the way it's stated. So it gives us some flexibility in a way that if your expectation is for, you know what, maybe it would be a good thing for us to try that at the high school, middle school, then that's the expectation we give the principals, and then that's what we go with.
But right now with the policy as it is, it's only being said once a week at the middle school.
With the control of the principal, say so.
So it's kind of like a slippery slope, it's gonna keep becoming less and less important.
I don't think, I don't know, you're asking me, I don't think so. But thank you, Julie, for that, we appreciate that. Anybody else want to throw anything out there on it?
No, I mean, you said you were gonna call each one of us.
Yeah, we'll talk more about this. I know I've talked to each one of you already, we can keep discussing this. Okay,
Like what I've got to say, there's more time than I can spend on it.
okay. So we'll discuss this more, that's why I took it off, and this is kind of a weighty thing, I want to make sure we do it right, and we'll get some resolution with our next meeting. All right, thank you.
That it?
That's it.
Rita?